to your Thursday, July 29th yoga practice. As we are exploring the chakra system, today is the Svadhisthana, the second chakra, the sacral chakra. This chakra is represented with the color orange, the note D, and it represents creativity, flow, pleasure. It's associated with the hips, the spleen, with receiving and attracting, as well as with extending and seeking energy. Okay, so creativity, sexuality, openness to new ideas, celebration. What a wonderful thing. Let's sit tall, breathe deeply, and today we will chant our Om with the D note, D chord. Inhale deeply for one long Om. Release your hands to your thighs and make your way to lie on your back. We'll do some pelvic pulses to help loosen up this sacral area and low back area. So with your hands on the mat, palm down, feet as close to the hips as it's comfortable, hips distance apart, start to rock your pelvis forwards and backwards. And it might feel a little awkward or uncomfortable at first, but just work with it. So breathe deeply here. And then start to align your inhale with rocking your pelvis down, arching your low back, and your exhale with drawing your low back towards the mat, rounding your pelvis up. Inhale, arc your back. Exhale, flatten the back to the mat. And as you do this, breathing, maybe you get a little playful with it. Maybe you notice you're giving yourself a bit of a back massage. And notice how the chin starts to bob. You can imagine your body like a wave, your chin the bobber. Another round or two, lubricating the spine, creating some freedom and movement. Draw your knees in towards your chest and draw circles. 3 to 5 times each direction at a pace that feels good to you. Keep breathing. Plant both feet, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, hug your legs in towards your chest, and then straighten your left leg to the sky. Breathe here in this figure 4 position. Let me see if I can get the Sanskrit. Susirandrasana. Susirandrasana. Figure 4, eye of the needle. Extend your left leg long, heel reaching to the sky. And with your next exhale, return both feet to the earth. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh, hug your legs in towards your chest, and then send your right leg long, right heel reaching to the sky. Your hands can be interlaced behind your right thigh if that works for you. Breathe. One or two more cycles of breath here. Eye of the needle, Susirandrasana. Breathing. Set your right and left foot back down on the earth. Send both legs out long. open your arms out wide, like a big T here. Now bend your right knee, plant your right foot on the mat, or your right foot can come to your left thigh. Inhale deeply and exhale, take a twist. The right knee comes towards the earth, but you don't have to force it. Don't worry if you don't go all the way. This is Jathara Parivartanasana. Jathara Parivartanasana. Knee down twist. Trying to expand my Sanskrit repertoire. Another big breath here, knee down twist. Inhale through neutral, send your right leg long, left leg bends, foot on mat or on right thigh. Inhale deeply and exhale, knee down twist to the right. Breathe. Try to keep your left shoulder connected to the earth, but don't force it. If it's popping up, then just notice and breathe. See what you can let go of. And as you relax and let go in your chest, then maybe that left shoulder melts back down. Breathe deeply and return to neutral. Roll all the way onto one side and press yourself up. Come to a seated posture. Maybe you sit yourself on a blanket here. Maybe you bring blocks into the picture. We're going to do Baddha Konasana. So the soles of your feet are together. You might have blocks under your thighs if your legs feel really lifted. Sign of relatively tight hips. Some of us are just made that way, so work with yourself wherever you are. Get yourself settled in a way that you can sit tall and breathe deeply. When we're working with Svadhisthana, or the sacral chakra, we can repeat something like, feeling brings consciousness into the body and simultaneously brings the body towards consciousness. Is a chakra of feeling and sensations. Feeling brings consciousness into the body and simultaneously brings the body towards consciousness. Feeling, I am both sensitive and strong. From Baddha Konasana, we'll open our legs out wide. Now, if you're not already on a blanket, but you have one nearby like I do, let's go ahead and bring it into the picture. Upavista Konasana, open leg forward fold. Little bit better to do on a perch, gives us some height. Anchor down through the base of your spine, Muladhara. Engage your legs. So the kneecaps lift, you can see your quads probably engage as the kneecaps pull up towards the hips. Feet are flexed, press out through your heels, point your toes widely spread to the sky, and imagine your toes and your kneecaps pointing up and back behind you. Keep that engagement. Maybe you walk your legs out wider, maybe you bring them closer together. Sit really tall. You have those blocks handy, option to bring them into the picture, and we start to fold forward any amount. Maybe it is an imperceptible amount. Just breathe wherever you go. Keep your legs really actively engaged. We're not just hanging out here. We're breathing deeply. Bring consciousness into the body by feeling the sensations. And as you do that, you bring the body towards consciousness. I am both sensitive and strong. About 5 more breaths here. Settle in, always finding length in the spine. Always noticing the breath coming and going. Upavista Konasana, open leg forward fold. If your knees want to lift off of the mat, let it happen. Don't force your legs straight. It's early. All of our bodies are built differently, so it's important that we listen to what our body's telling us. Notice if your mind is trying to tell you that your chest needs to be on the ground, and then listen to the body. Keep pointing your toes and knees up towards the sky and back behind you. External rotation in the hips. Inhale, sit yourself up tall. You can use your hands to draw your legs together. Cross your legs in easy seat, whichever leg landed on top. Let's stack that ankle over the opposite knee. Walking the bottom leg towards parallel to the edge of the mat, Agni Stambhasana. Now, I like to keep my hands grounded on my top leg. Maybe you like to bring your hands out to the sides. If so, then flip your palms forward, finding a little external rotation in your shoulders. If the top leg is pointing up towards the sky, you can just put a block under it, give yourself some support. We'll just be here for 3 more full cycles of breath. Notice which leg is on top in fire log pose, and bring your feet to the earth in front of you. Send both legs out long, returning just briefly through Upavista Konasana, wide leg forward fold. Knees and toes to the sky and back behind you, lean forward. Just 3 breaths. Sit up tall, cross your legs, opposite leg comes on top, ankle to knee, knee to ankle. Maybe we wedge a block under the top leg, hands grounding on the top leg or out to your sides, palms flipped forward if you choose that option, externally rotating your arms and your shoulders. Breathe deeply. Few more breaths here as we beckon Toby near. Hi, mister. As you're ready, we will release Agni Stambhasana. Make your way into tabletop, where we'll be for just a moment. Pass through cow and cat. He is so often right on cue for this, isn't he? Oh, hi. All right. In tabletop and cow and cat, connect to your breath. Notice your foundation. Fingers are spread wide. Notice if by default you dump a lot of weight into the heels of your hands, and see if you can lighten the experience for your wrists. As we breathe through cow and cat, remember the pelvic pulses that we started today's practice with. Remember the wave-like motion and the bobbing of the chin. Tuck your toes. And on your next exhale, send your hips high, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take any movement that feels good here. And then find stillness for 3 to 5 breaths. As you find stillness, remember that a bend in the knees is always a great idea, helping you to send your hips high. Engage your belly muscles. Let your shoulders come toward your ears a bit and relax your neck. Weight into the fingertips, lighten your wrists. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or swing your right foot up to the top of the mat. Drop your left knee. Maybe you put a blanket under it. Untuck your left toes. Option to bring your blocks under your hands here. If you'd like to keep your hands down. Or you can bring your hands to your thighs. Or you can reach your fingertips up to the sky. A low, deep lunge here. Maybe you pulse deepening into the hips and then lift up out. Sink low into the hips and then squeeze the legs together, lifting your hips and pelvic floor. One more time like that, sinking low and then lifting. Inhale to reach. Exhale your hands down to the earth. Tuck your left toes, step yourself back. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or swing that left foot to the top of the mat. Drop your right knee, untuck your right toes. Maybe you keep your hands down, bringing blocks into it. Maybe you bring your hands to your left thigh, or maybe you reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Breathe here with the option to sink really low into your hips and then squeeze your legs together. Sinking low, then that isometric contraction, lifting. One more time. And lift, reach. Exhale your hands to the earth, tuck your right toes. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, giant step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, long spine, arms out and up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach out and up. Core engaged, exhale, hinge, forward, hands touch down. Maybe you bring blocks with you as we're setting up for lizard pose. Step your right foot way back in space. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot, maybe bringing blocks with you. You can lower your right knee if you'd like, or keep your right knee lifted. Press back through your right heel if the knee is off of the mat. Hug your left arm with your left leg. As you do that, maybe you can feel how your pelvic floor and your hips lift. Lengthen your spine. Maybe you scoop belly out of the way to help you find a little more space here. Maybe you lower down to your forearms. Maybe you reach your left hand under your left leg, knee coming on top of left shoulder. Keep imagining you're squeezing your legs towards each other. Keep lengthening your spine. If your right knee is off of the mat, stay really actively engaged through your right leg. One more cycle of breath here. And then plant your left hand if you took any bind options. Move the blocks out of the way. Planting your hands on the inside now. Back where they were, sorry. Toby. Practice yoga to focus your mind, Carly. Step yourself back to plank pose. How do you focus with such beauty in front of you, huh? Inhale and plank, push the ground away. Exhale and plank. Bend your knees, send your hips high on an exhale. Inhale forward into plank. Exhale, lower your knees, lower your torso. I'm going to do the best I can here. Inhale, draw your heart forward for Bhujangasana or upward facing dog. Exhale, return to downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward and step your right foot up to the top of the mat. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot, walking the right foot out of it. Maybe bringing blocks back. You can lower your left knee or keep it lifted. If your left knee is lifted, then press back really actively through your left foot. Lengthen your spine. Maybe you move your belly out of the way. Maybe you lower down to your forearms. Right leg is hugging into the right arm. Maybe you can reach your right arm under your right leg, bringing the right knee kind of on top of the right shoulder. Just exploring different ways to breathe here. Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. So I'll know I've experienced real union with the divine when I'm not being distracted by this kitty cat. I'm not there yet. Keep lengthening your spine and your breath. If you took the bind option, then unweave your right arm. Plant your hands on the blocks or the mat. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, let's drop our left knee, set the blocks out of the way. Plant your hands, right hand still on the inside of the right foot. Left toes are tucked. Step yourself back to plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, drop your knees as wide as the edges of the mat. Send your hips back. Balasana, child's pose for just a moment. Inhale, come up. Exhale, sink your hips low, finding a hanging cobra. Broad through your collarbones. Inhale, exhale, press back through Balasana, child's pose. Lengthen your spine, come up on your fingertips, pull your spine 2 different directions, fingertips crawling the top half of your spine forward, hips sinking the bottom half of your spine back. Oh, that was a good headbutt. On an inhale, rise back up, sink your hips low, broad collarbones and chest, hanging cobra. Exhale, send your hips back, Balasana, child's pose. One more time, inhale up, hanging cobra. Exhale, drop your toes to the earth, send your hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward between your hands, and exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. On an inhale, rise all the way up, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. We are going to play with some balancing, so perhaps you move to a wall or grab a chair or do the best you can. Okay, if you have a strap, please grab that and loop the strap under the sole of your left foot. Extended hand po, Uttira Asta Padangunstasana. Stand tall. Left hand, right hand to your right hip, anchor into your right foot. Really engage both legs. Start to float your left foot off of the mat. Anchor down through the base of your spine. As you do that, feel your front hip points lifting up. Maybe you stay like this, challenging your balance, breathing. Maybe you rotate your left toes away from your midline, just like when we start tree pose. Maybe you start to lift your left leg any amount. You can walk your hands up the strap. If it seems like it might be accessible to you, you can ditch the strap. With your peace fingers, grab onto the big toe, have your thumb wrap around too, do the yogi toe lock, and then start to send your left leg out long. Really squeeze in the gluteal muscles of your standing leg. Then drop your attention all the way down to the base, the roots of your standing leg. Notice if you're gripping the mat with your toes, and see if instead you can lock in to the square on the bottom of your foot. Breathe deeply. Notice your experience, whatever's happening, however it's going. How are you breathing? Wherever you are, have both legs be really actively engaged. And slowly begin to release the posture. Returning to Tadasana, mountain pose. Soft fists. Give yourself a little massage. Massaging around the hips, gluteal muscles, your legs. And return to Tadasana, mountain pose. Stand tall here, core engaged, spine anchoring down. If you're using the strap, loop it over the bottom of your right foot. Left hand to left hip, stand tall. Start to carry the weight into your left leg as the right foot floats off of the mat. Maybe you're here and you stay here. Maybe you rotate the right toes away from your midline and begin to float your right foot and right leg out to the side. Maybe you walk your hands up the strap. Maybe you keep your foot really close to the earth. Wherever you are, it's perfectly fine. Every variation of every pose has its own benefits. If it feels accessible to you, again, maybe you bring peace fingers and thumb around the big toe on your right foot. And maybe you extend your right leg long that way. No matter how it's going, see if you can find some ease in your shoulders. And again, drop your attention all the way down to the very base of your standing leg. Feel the texture of your mat under your left foot. Feel your foot and your leg pressing into the earth. And then feel the energetic rebound, root to rise. You're really engaging your left gluteal muscles, hugging into the central line of energy. Breathe deeply. Notice how the mind's doing here. And as you're ready, as slowly as you can, release the posture. Maybe you give yourself another little bit of massage. Tap, tap, tap. And then stand in Tadasana. Notice if you feel tempted to just be standing, make sure you're actively standing into the earth. Tadasana. Firm, steady like a mountain, anchored down, well lifted up. Core is engaged here, supporting your long spine. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hinge forward, bend your knees really generously, drape your belly over your thighs, and slowly look left to right. Keep breathing and slowly, slowly lower your hips all the way to the earth. Make your way down onto your back. When you arrive, hug your knees in towards your chest. Rock side to side. You can imagine you're walking your hips away from your shoulders, getting long through your spine. Plant both of your feet, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, open your arms out wide, draw your legs in towards your chest. You can stay here if this feels really good, basically a pigeon pose. Or as you exhale, take a twist, letting your legs fall off to the left side. Now, if you can, your right foot might be planted on the earth with the right knee pointed up to the sky. If this doesn't feel good, then just take a twist that does feel good. And as you're ready, we return back to neutral. Plant your feet, left ankle over right thigh, hug the legs in towards your chest. Breathe here. And on an exhale, send your legs off to the right side. The left foot connects with the earth. The left knee points up to the sky. If you don't like this variation, then take one that does suit you. Breathe deeply and return to neutral. Send your feet to the sky, bend your knees towards your armpits. Reach your hands anywhere you can get on your legs or maybe the outer edges of your feet. If you reach your feet, then pull down as you kick up. Feel your back flatten onto the earth. Maybe you rock side to side. You can picture yourself like a boat on the ocean. Water is the element associated with Svadhisthana, the second chakra. As you're ready, send your legs and arms out long, palms to the sky. Give yourself a moment to relax, to soften into this posture. I am both sensitive and strong. I am balanced. I know when to act and when to wait. Deepen your breath. And slowly make your way back to an easy seated posture. When you arrive, we will sit and practice a breathing exercise for just a moment. I know we're almost to 30 minutes. So left nostril breathing is Ida Nadi breathing. We're just going to do 8 to 10 cycles. So with your thumb, close your right nostril and just breathe through the left nostril, about 8 cycles of breath. As you complete the cycle of breath you're on now, you can rest your palms in your lap, right hand on top of left. We'll chant one long Om. You can keep your palms resting in this way, or bring them to heart center if you prefer. D note. Inhale deeply for Om. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.